Hey there, welcome back to Operation Northern Barrier. This is the second part. It is 1984, and this Soviet aircraft carrier is attempting to break out into the Atlantic. The Royal Navy isn't having that, and we're using HMS Illustrious, as well as her escorts and some submarines to lay a trap and try and eliminate the enemy aircraft carrier. With a flight of Sea Harriers, I've been able to strike against one of the escort ships of the carrier, but it is still very well defended. We were also able to shoot down a Tu-95RT. This is a naval patrol aircraft. It's no longer going to be detecting us on radar, but that doesn't mean we're safe, because there is still a threat of Soviet submarines about. So it's possible we've already been picked up on sonar and are imminently under attack. Let's continue the fight and sink the Kiev. Something fishy around Kestrel 1 too. There's another aircraft. We've picked it up by their emissions. I suspect that what we might be looking at is an airstrike that used to rely upon the surface search capabilities of the Tu-95 that I shot down, and has now resorted to looking for the targets all by themselves. So this could be a surface search radar from a bombing run. That's my suspicion. I don't expect any friendly contacts to come in from, I don't know, the middle of nowhere in the north. So I'm going to assume this guy is hostile. I can, if I so feel like, request that they identify themselves, but as expected, they don't actually identify. So this is going to cause Kestrel to intercept. We don't exactly know where they are. I don't exactly know what their capabilities are, but I'm kind of relying upon the Harriers to spot them, just visually. We're going to have a look out the window and see if we can find them. Which means I don't actually have to turn my air search on and potentially give my position away. That is, these guys are using their own search radar. This is the Rubin 1A, and it's, there we go, it's Tu-16s. Okay, so that means I can turn my radar on. Am I really just going to find one? Interesting. Typically, these things travel in packs. Why am I not detecting it? Because supposedly it's 18 miles out. My radar has a range of 60. Where is it? Where is it? And more importantly, where are your friends? 15 miles? 7023, classified hostile helo, K27PL, check. Yep. Here it is. Here it is. Alright, gentlemen. You're gonna have your work cut out for you. I'm gonna tell you to go weapons free. Formation orders, weapons free. Shoot to kill at your own directive. There we go. Every aircraft has now been engaged once. This is a massive improvement from previous iterations of Sea Power, where these things just used to throw missiles out at, well, targets... No, actually, let me rephrase. They would go after targets which were very far away. They would try and engage the AWACS on the other side of the battlefield, as opposed to engaging whatever's ahead of them right now. And I'm very happy to see that that is not what these guys are doing. They're sending one missile against each target, so that's 1, 2... 2 kills so far. We still got more available. There's one more AIM-9 going in. You are packing 2... What is that? AS-4s? Pretty punchy missiles. What I'm surprised about is that we got this guy on radio. Well, radar, that is. We got him on emissions. But apparently my Harrier pilot is blind and cannot actually see the aircraft, which is right there. I don't quite understand how that works, because for all intents and purposes, they should just be able to look out a window and go, hold on, there's an aircraft there. But I guess we're not doing that. Is there any particular point you're waiting for? There we go. Because I really do not need you to close into gun range of that target. And there she goes. Because these things much like the Tu-95, have a tail gunner, so don't get fooled into letting that thing shoot you down. I wasn't really expecting a threat over here from the north, but I'm glad I kept them around. Kestrel 3 is going to take up position there, and unfortunately I have sent all my Harriers up. I have nothing else. I do have some Sea Kings with AHAS-5, which I believe is their ASW loadout. And the other ones, yeah, depth sonar. The other one is the, well, what these guys call AWACS, or Airborne Early Warning. They do have a surface search radar, the EMI Search Water, with a range of 108 miles. It's not anywhere near as good as an E2C, but it's what the British have. The thing is, though, I already got my P3C up there, so I don't really need to do much more detection. Kashin seems to have controlled its fire. Well done to the Soviet damage control parties. They managed to actually survive. There's the carrier behind it. There's a what looks to be a steam or a fleet supply ship. And 1, 2, 3, 4 more ships, which lines up with our detection. The real question I have is, where are the submarines? And presently, I don't know. They're not in this funnel. They might detect Warspite running at 20 knots. But that would mean that they're going to ambush Warspite from closer range. So let's for now be a little bit more cautious with these submarines and do a listening leg. Seeing if we can find something. Because I'm not too sure about this engagement just yet. Next strike ready to go. We're going to send another 8 Sea Eagles against target 7014, which is a large contact, and I suspect that that is one of their cruisers guarding the western flank. You can see the Kashin is maneuvering at only 6.8 knots, so it is capable of maneuvering, but it is definitely not going to be doing as much for the air defense of the formation. Might be able to pick it off later, but I kind of want to peel off the onion bit by bit. That's why I'm attacking the warship on the west. Because the more of these ships slow down, if they don't flat out sink, the more likely this very large aircraft contact is to be vulnerable. That's the plan. So the contact that I'm engaging now, 7014, I believe to be this ship over here. And this unlucky guy is going to have to defend himself without the assistance from this Kashin, which is that air defense ship. So it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to take more missiles, because I do believe that this one's going to have a bit more CWIS capabilities. But the more we peel off, the more we damage, the easier it's going to become. Especially the easier it's going to become for the submarines to clear up. Once more, the Soviet air defense leaps into action. And once more, I am actually surprised that they're doing that. Because these ships, from what I have on ESM, don't actually have their radars active. But they really do. And that's, well, it could make a seed strike an interesting prospect. Because a seed missile typically is faster. But under these conditions, I believe it uses the same missile type as the Sea Eagle. That means that a seed strike is a bit more risky, because I'm going to have to close to 30 miles as opposed to the 60 miles from this anti-ship missile. It might knock out a radar, it might not. Oh, we're getting jammed. They got ECM on us. Oh, sorry, yeah, ECM. Oh, this is actually looking pretty promising. Oh! Intercepted by 7011. Another one of the leaders of the formation. So unfortunately, no joy on that strike. What I did manage to do is have these ships waste a few more of their surface-to-air missiles. I doubt they'll run out anytime soon, but hey, they will run out. Which is not the same thing that I can say for my Harriers, because Illustrious has a magical armory and a magical amount of missiles. It can keep going forever, which is something I really hope that they change in sea power, because it's a bit overpowered. We have a problem. Apparently, we've been detected. The question is, by what? I suspect it's a submarine. At any rate, the Kiev has decided to offer me some gifts. Explosive variety gifts. These are P500s. That is a fairly dangerous missile, and thankfully we already have it detected. Who detected that? Illustrious herself. I'm not so sure how she did that, because I believe she's under MCON. I'm thinking it might have been the Birmingham, which is actively detecting those things. At any rate, we need to take some form of action, but right now we can't. Maybe a Kestrel is going to be able to take a shot at it with a Sidewinder. I just don't think I can get them into position in time, because I have a Harrier which has a top speed of about 635 knots, and that's with everything opened up. And these things are flying in at 1300 knots. So that'll not likely work. That means we're going to have to use some of our other warships. It is going to come down to some of these other escorts. These are going to have to shoot down all of the incoming missiles. So, let's activate some of the other radars. And let's do a bit more active hunting on enemy submarines. Because, based on the fact that I've been detected, I'm not doing a whole lot of speed. About 12 knots. There could be a submarine here. Fairly close to Courageous, which is just rampaging around at 15 knots. She's not that likely to detect a whole lot. I'm not thinking there's anything here, because Warspite has been listening every once in a while. But I'm not finding anything. So I'm going to start dropping some sonar buoys here and there. And I'm suspecting that I've been detected by a submarine. Why not a submarine behind me? Because a submarine typically doesn't trail a battle group. It lies in wait in front of the battle group. And I know it's not here. Although there is a small channel between these buoys that is about, depending on where you pick it, about 8 to 10 miles wide. So that does leave me a little bit more vulnerable than I'd like. Let's send another helicopter out. Another Sea King is going to launch. But first we're going to retrieve the Kestrels. Let's see if the Ambuscade can launch. Yeah, we're going to launch the Westland Lynx from HMS Ambuscade. And with that, close this gap. I don't like that. Deploy these buoys and see if we can find whatever it was that detected me. It's not a helicopter, because it's too far. So it has to be something else. Now, the only ship actively engaging enemy air threats, or at least preparing to, is Birmingham. And her Sea Darts have a range of 40 miles. She can throw these out at a pretty decent speed, I suspect. But just to be on the safe side, I want to have another one of those air defense ships available and ready. Who is that? Southampton. And Liverpool. Based on the area where they're coming in, I'm going to say it's going to be Liverpool activating her air search. I'm going to have to use her. These missiles are bursting in. Range 38 miles. Birmingham has them at 57. 55. Let's see just how good these Sea Darts really are. 50. 47. 45. 44. 43, 42, 41. Their altitude is still 16,000 feet, so they're vulnerable. If they were sea skimmers, that would be a substantially more difficult kill. Yeah, they're still a little too low for me to engage, and I'm worried that they're going to ski... Yeah, there we go. They're sea skimming right now. They do, however, typically keep one missile up there, which is sort of the commanding missile. This is the one that guides the rest of the missiles onto a target. Until such a time as when it decides, yep, now we can actually engage. Now we can actually engage. You are also going to turn your air search on. I want to get as much information as I can and deal with these bastards. No range. No detection either. It's possible that Birmingham is going to have a bit of a disastrous encounter with a P500. There we go. Sea Darts coming up. Any day of the week we're going to shoot these. We lost track. Shit. Can't see them anymore. Which means we're going to have to get these things coming in very, very, very late. The problem is now, these ships don't have Sea Whiz. I don't know why the British Navy and all of its wisdom decided to not have these things get Sea Whiz, but here we are. Okay, there's the Sea Darts. Reload in 20 seconds. Dude. We ain't got 20 seconds. Not with this many missiles inbound. I have no electronic warfare that I can throw into the face of those missiles. So yeah, they're gonna try and shoot them down with guns. Good luck with that. First of the Sea Darts have missed their intended targets. There's 2 more Sea Darts coming up. From each direction, that is. We even got the missiles on visual? Missed? Missed. So far, I'm not terribly impressed with these missiles. And it's probably going to come at the expense... Oh, you're lucky. Birmingham managed to, well, surprise, confuse one missile with a chaff cloud. Which is all the worse for the rest of the ships here. We're going to light up the whole place. Formation, air defense, air search. Everybody turns their radar on. We're even getting jammed. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is gonna be expensive. That's the ambuscade. Was the ambuscade. Battle axe. Yes, that one is going to come under attack here. Ooh, we managed to... Oh no, not the Illustrious. Yep, Illustrious got hit. Ooh, I hope we can control that fire. It is a bad fire. We have lost the GSW 30. But for now, we have survived. If we can keep the flight deck operational, that'd be fantastic, because that's a rather important part of an aircraft carrier. This is bad. That P500 strike, yeah, it's not the only thing coming in. There's at least 2 more missiles, potentially more. We have definitely lost the ambuscade. Who was it? The other took the other hit. The battle axe? Yeah. Yeah, that's battle axe from Red Storm Rising, or rather was, because I don't think she's going to survive that. Triple flooding incident, moderate hull damage. Kestrel, engage. Somehow. Do something. Make yourself useful. It's an all-aspect missile, but we pretty much get one shot at it. Can you turn your air search on? Can you detect those missiles? Also, we're flying about 20,000 feet higher than that missile is. Problematic. Range. Now in range. Missile away. Just send all of it. 2, 3, 4. Detach from the formation. This would be quite the hit. I'm running at half speed to see if I can actually see the P500 fly past. I kind of doubt it, but who knows. There's the missile. Missed one. Missed it. Close. But no joy. Nope, real missed. But... Hold on, are you still trying to find another one? No, you're not. But there are more missiles out there. That's a problem and a half. You definitely can engage this one. Engage 7061. That is 7061. Okay, come around. How fast are these missiles? 1650 knots. Okay then. Take the shot. Now, Kestrel 4. Or don't bother. Because we have almost no range, and we still need to get these missiles to intercept. I don't think they're going to have the fuel to keep up with a P500. They're already gaining on us. Shit. That is the end of that missile. Illustrious. Damage report. Bloody hell. That flight deck's been destroyed. What happens if I do tell it to launch a Harrier? Give me an anti-ship. They're waiting to launch. They cannot launch. Well, that's fun. That's fun. The thing is, as long as my carrier survives, I can still win the scenario. The problem is, I'm not sure if I can control that flooding. And without aircraft, this mission just got a lot harder. We're gonna have to use the submarines to get the kills. We're getting jammed again. It's the P500's jamming. If they can get one more missile on Illustrious, I think that will be it for Illustrious. Okay, you. Oh, you're the helo from the ambuscade, of all things. Poor thing. I don't really have too many more parking spots, I think. And the flight deck on the carrier's been destroyed. So, it's not like I have a whole lot of options. Kestrel 11 over here is probably going to have to fly over to Scotland in order to find a base. And officially she can't even make that far. She doesn't have the range. Alright, let's see if these weapon systems are going to be successful a second time. Seeing as the first time was a bit of a disaster, I'm not holding my breath on these things. The only reason that Birmingham here survived is because the P500 took the bait and went for the chaff. Because their self-defense systems aboard Birmingham are shit. There's one missile missing, and the second one missed. British anti-air defense is spectacularly lacking. Where are you going? You're bypassing Birmingham. I suspect this thing is going for the carrier. Also, like, why no air defense on a air defense... Or sorry, why no CWIS on an air defense platform? That was the P500. Too little, too late. Everybody send. Come on, Brazen. Come on, Jingles. Save the day. I don't need a jingle moment. I need an actual kill. Brazen is not even trying to engage? CWIS! No! Damn it. That'll probably seal the deal on Illustrious. And just the way that none of these ships actually tried doing anything. Yeah, there we go. She's been lost. We must retire south and pray the US carrier strike fleets can arrive in time to support us. The thing about this scenario is that I don't know if the P500s that the AI got were boosted by the pack lethality mod. It's possible that they were, which means that they're going to be more deadly, and that they had jamming. I'm not sure if that's it, but I suspect it is a factor. So if you're playing this thing vanilla without the pack lethality enhancement, you're going to likely get some different results. Nevertheless, in this case, the Soviets won. I managed to shoot down 5 aircraft, but I lost an aircraft carrier in the process, as well as a Type 21. Overall, I am rather unimpressed with the capabilities of the Soviet Navy, well, of the British Navy, because they were just admirably shit at shooting down any missiles. I don't think we got any of them. So, yeah. I don't really like the British Navy. The Royal Navy, I think their ships are too specialized. They're too specialized. And yes, a Ticonderoga is also a specialized anti-air ship. It's also an air defense ship. but it can also do anti-submarine warfare. It can typically also do anti-ship warfare. And it has a Sea Whiz, which is something these British ships lack. So hopefully the British Navy has learned from these mistakes and put Sea Whiz on more platforms than just their aircraft carrier. Anyway, that'll be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are below, and I'll see you soon for more videos.